Hey everybody, it's Dr. Maya Alapin, Mama Soul Doc. I'm not a medical doctor or a mental health care practitioner. So I just want to tell you about my upcoming level 1 training in the Soulsway Hypnosis Method, which is an advanced conversational hypnosis approach. So I'm just going to talk about the logistics first, and then I'll tell you a little bit about it. So my training is the last weekend of March, the 28th, 29th, and 30th. I do about 4 or 5 hours a day. It's casual. You can come and go as you please. It's all recorded. So if you miss any of it, that's not an issue at all. The fun of the live is we do live hypnosis. So you can volunteer to be coached. You can volunteer to be a client, a demo client. It's a very interactive experience. So it starts every day at noon Eastern time, and we'll have a couple breaks during the day. The cost is $9.97 US dollars. There's a link on my website. There's a link in my bio. You can message me if you want to meet and chat with me about it before you sign up. So, very casual. We're not going to read hundreds of books or anything like that. You're going to learn the skill so you can go and use it. That's really the training. So, what the heck is it that I even do over here, and why is it that I can teach it to you? So, traditional hypnosis, as most of you know, has to do a lot with predicting what the client needs to hear. So it's like predicting affirmations, predicting suggestions, writing a script so that you can, while the client is hypnotized, tell them who they really are. And there is some degree of effectiveness in this because, of course, the mind is suggestible. So that's the basis of hypnosis to begin with. So yes, there is something to that. However, there are some pretty major problems with this approach. The first of them being the most important one, which is how are we going to write a script or figure out how to affirm or suggest something to a client if we don't know them? When somebody sits down in front of us and tells us what they think their problem is, clearly there's something they don't know, because if they knew that thing, it wouldn't still be a problem for them. So there's something strange about that traditional model that says don't make any assumptions, don't tell the clients what to do, and yet it pre-plans what a client is going to need. This is one of the problems because obviously in that case the client is guessing and the practitioner is also guessing. So, what's beautiful about the conversational method that I'm using is it's created inside the moment. I do not guess and I do not predict. I teach you the skill of actually interacting with the subconscious mind, which is the whole fun of hypnosis to begin with, right? So, when you're able to let go of that infrastructure that's supposedly making it easier for you to do your work, when you let go of that, then there's an immediacy and an immediate possibility to really meet the client's subconscious. So that's how it differentiates itself from the traditional methods. Another part of the conversational approach that really deserves highlighting is the way in which it takes the pressure and stress off of the practitioner. So, this whole thing that I'm saying, when you have to predict everything, when you have to plan everything, when you're in charge of the client's healing, there's a kind of power struggle that goes on because obviously the change has to occur in the client, in the person, and yet you're responsible for it as the practitioner. So, there's something that doesn't work in that for obvious reasons. The conversational method, because we are not saying, okay, do this, or okay, here's a solution, or you're a non-smoker now, go ahead and be a non-smoker. We're not doing any of that. So, because I'm not responsible for deciding or predicting how a client is going to help their own situation, the pressure is not on me. The only thing that's demanded of me is to become a really accurate and dependable and trustworthy um, receptacle for the subconscious that's in front of me. And so it's very much an extemporaneous, in the moment experience. And that's what I teach in the training, is how to let go of that addiction to preparation and work, which, by the way, is a whole other discussion about our conditioning to do that kind of thing. But the training is a preparation and um, learning the principles that allow you to really experience the subconscious of your clients in the moment when they're in front of you. And that is exactly why the transformations are so fast, because there's truly no layering of my interpretation. What I'm really experiencing is the client themselves. And so this is what really differentiates traditional hypnosis from the conversational method. Is there's no power differential. It's not like I'm up here telling you, okay, this is who you need to be. No, we're not going to do it that way, where I deliver suggestions and you receive them. Instead, we're going to actually create this exit strategy from the problem through the exploration of the client's subconscious themselves. So it's like tunneling through their subconscious, because that's where the actual map exists. They have the map, but they don't know how to access it. So in the conversational method, the focus is on the exploration of the problem and the interview about the problem. I am not focused on how to get a client into hypnosis. So don't take the class if you want me to teach you how to count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 backwards, because I won't do that. There are lots of courses out there already doing that. In fact, I think most, hypnosis courses, that's what they're doing, is some variation of how to relax the client, how to enter into hypnosis, how to deepen somebody into their trance. But legitimately, if you've done that, which I have done that for a while, what do you get out of it? Do you know what's happening when the client closes their eyes? Do you know how to handle when clients don't like it or resist it? What do you do when a client comes in for weight loss, and then when they sit down in front of you, they say, actually, I want to talk about my divorce today? How do you prepare for that? What are we supposed to do in all these situations where a lawyer or a doctor is sitting in front of you and they don't like closing their eyes and they basically object? What do you do with an analytical client who's skeptical? These are all the things that make hypnotists nervous. Isn't that true? And so I don't worry about any of that, because I'm not going to have any smoke and mirrors at all. I'm going to really actually explore the subconscious in front of me. And that in itself is how I create hypnosis. The more we explore the problem, the more the client has to retrieve information that is by nature subconscious. And that experience of going back and forth into their subconscious, exploring the problem as I am interviewing them, so to speak, which is my hypnotic method, that's a fractionation experience, which creates trance. So now the exploration of the problem is built into the trance experience. Everything's collapsed into one. So it's very speedy. And also, it's very effective because the trance and the undoing of the problem are occurring simultaneously. That's why it's so fun, because we're not just saying, okay, close your eyes and I'll make a guess about how to solve the problem. No, we're actually solving the problem, which I call undoing knots, or taking knots apart, like Knots, like a shoelace knot. We're taking apart knots. The taking apart of the knots is hypnotic, because it creates a fractionation. Instead of forcing a fractionation, we could also pretend like, hey, I'm going to, use a tool to fractionate your subconscious and get deeper into it. But why would we do that if we can undo the problem as the method to create a fractionation? So it's very smart how this is created, and why I can teach it to you in 3 days is because it's a completely different approach. It's a completely different set of principles than telling you how to create relaxation, deepening, and the rest of it. So once you know the principles of um, of investigation in a hypnotic context, you will know how to do hypnosis. So I want to just talk for a moment, about one of the, I think, key highlights to knowing how to do this, which is it's fast. It creates a lot of speed. And so that's always what the client wants, is to get out of their problem as fast as possible. In fact, the very fact that they have sought out a hypnotist and not a therapist tells you that they're ready to do it, that they're actually ready to have a hypnotic experience and move out of their problem. If they want that and they're willing to explore something so cool and so different as hypnosis, why wouldn't we want to give it to them as quickly as possible? So, the whole idea of undoing knots as a layer of fractionation and hypnosis is very interesting in the sense that it eliminates the discrete parts of traditional hypnotic approaches. So now we don't need to do, you know, script preparation, induction, a deepening, a suggestibility test, build rapport. I don't need to do all those things. And I don't especially need to do them in a sequential, discrete order. It's so linear. I'm not a super linear person. So that's too linear. And in fact, it in itself creates resistance in the client because they know that you're telling them to do something now. Just like a kid, when you tell them, hey, it's got to be this way, they might not like it. If you invite them and make it fun, it's cool. So that's the whole point of this approach is it's faster because it's more inviting, because there's less forcing, because it's natural, because the true state of mind that we've all, historically developed is a subconscious state of mind, is much older and much more dependable than our overused modern day, socialized consciousness. So what we're accessing is very readily available, and it wants to be approached, but not forced. It does not want to be told, okay, hey, welcome. Today we're going to freaking change you. No, nobody wants that. But if there's an invitation and it's appealing and the conversation is itself engaging, the change is quick because now we've used all the natural resources that a human has, which is their ability to engage with their subconscious through an investigative process that accesses the part of them where the solution lies. And opens a gateway so that they can now do this not only inside the session, but in the future, which is another reason I love this method, because now we've opened a portal or a doorway to a lot of change. Sometimes people message me months or years later and tell me, and also this, and also this, and also this. And I don't find that surprising because that's the nature of the domino effect of the subconscious. So that's our job, is to let that doorway, let that portal open and invite that wide scale change. And so the reason the initial experience is fast is because it really does not pressurize the practitioner to create that whole dynamic as though by magic. Instead, we do it organically through the mechanism of the subconscious to create the change in the moment and the long-standing possibility for change. Since we don't need to do all the parts discreetly, wasting time creating scripts and 2 hours here and 15 minutes here. Oh yeah, and also audios after and homework later. We don't need to do all of that. So the time is saved and can be focused on the undoing of the problem. In that, we have also created a deep experience of hypnosis. So it's very speedy, and the transformations can be as fast as an hour. I tend to be like an hour and a half. It really is that quick. And even that amount of time, as I have noticed with my clients, tends to seem faster than what it really is because, of course, there's a trance in process. Okay, so just a little bit about why speed is important in a business situation. So I definitely liked the original approach I had to my business, which was conventional. 4, 5, 6 visits. I think I did 6 to begin with. Some people sell 12, some people sell 18. The thing is, there's absolutely no way to scale that kind of business model because you run out of time. So you can only see so many people at so many package deals before you're very tired and you only can add so many more customers. So it's not a scalable model. Moreover, that model is most of the time sold by the hour or by the session. So if you're doing like $100 a session or $150 a session, just to make whatever it is that we need to live in the world today, 7,500 or 10,000 bucks a month or whatever that is for you, requires all day, every day, seeing clients. If that's what you're doing, there's no infrastructure under your business. So your business is very much about coming and giving a service on the day of, and that's it. There's no possibility to create any kind of platform or any kind of marketing system because you're employed all the time giving sessions. Some people are cool with that. If you do that already, you're tired. I know because I only did it for a short time and I was tired. So it's very tiring to sit with people day in and day out. Moreover, it does get boring and repetitive, although everybody is very interesting. And so the question becomes, how can we not sell this life-changing, powerful modality as though it's something you need to have over and over? Because you don't. So the point of learning ACH is learn something that eliminates that need for repeated sessions and charge according to the influence that has on a person's life. If you quit smoking in a session, it's thousands of dollars saved, tons of hours in therapy. I mean, even the uncalculable ones like depression. I mean, cigarettes, you can count how much you save. Depression, how much time have you saved? How many days of work have you retrieved? How much, motivation have you recovered so that you can go and do something else, get a better job, get paid better, whatever. This is very important in terms of understanding the value of the hypnotic experience. And so if we can create that crack or that moment of transformation, it's a huge advantage to the clients because they can go on with their lives with relief from something that has been costing them for probably decades. Most of my clients have been suffering with something for decades. A faster transformation means you can save time per person. And I'm not saying to rush anyone. Some people do need more time. Some teenagers, take 6 or 8 conversational sessions with me still. So I'm not saying everybody falls into this category, but the vast majority of adults can be seen in 1 or 2 sessions, and that's it. That creates flexibility so that you have a potential to create marketing, to create courses, to create outreach, and to grow as a business instead of just as a service. So speed is very important because without a speed component, there's no differentiation from the rest of the market. I definitely think what distinguishes the conversational method, aside from the effectiveness and the fun of it and the ease of it, is just that you don't have to wait for it. So people are willing to pay for that. I mean, you can just think about like if you have you need a crown on your tooth, and dentist A over here can do it for, 1,800 bucks in 45 minutes and it'll be perfect. Or dentist B over here can do it for, $1,000, but you have to come 4 times, 2 weeks apart. You're going to pay more for the faster service that gets the job done so that you don't have to waste your life because you can monetize your life. So it's very similar to that. The product, the speed product, lends itself to this business model that's easier on you as a coach or as a hypnotist because we can really get to the client's real problems because that's the premise of the method. So it all kind of works together so that the client gets the best possible service. And the reason you can give that best possible service is because your business model protects you. And the only way to really have that business model is to learn a method that you feel confident and very calm about, that doesn't demand you to spend tons of time preparing for or giving. That's why I love it. So what you get in this course is membership to the live. If you don't want to attend this live, you can come to the next one. You can come to the next one. You can come to any one that I give as long as I'm giving the course. So it's a ticket for all of the lives. Also, you get access to the Kajabi platform where everything is recorded. So you can't come live to one of them. You can watch it recorded. You can mix them up. You can watch a little bit of, training 1, training 2, training 3. You can watch them all if you want to be a big fan. It's up to you. And the Kajabi platform is very easy to use. It keeps track of your progress. So you can take the course digitally. You can take the course live. You can do both. In addition to that, I have a Facebook group, so you can always ask questions, practice with people inside the group, get support. Never have a question that goes unanswered because the more you know, the easier it is for you to actually pull this all off. And finally, I have a monthly coaching group where you can just come and troubleshoot and work on your skill and practice live once a month. So there's a lot included in the course, and it is a course that's designed so that you can actually use it right away. So it's practical. I love teaching it and I love answering questions. So if you have anything you want to know that I haven't mentioned here, just go ahead and comment or send me a message. You can also book a free 15-minute call with me to just ask me about it. So I'm more than happy to answer anything else you need to know. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the course. And the link, of course, is on the website, soulswaysolution.com under training. Also, wherever you're seeing this video in YouTube, Instagram, there's always a link in the bio or in the comments below. So it should be easy to sign up or reach out to me. Thanks for listening. This is Mama Soul Doc in Montreal, Quebec.